So here we are at the first one of the Pandas tutorial over here on Kaggle. Creating, reading, and writing. You can't work with data if you can't read it. So we're going to get started here. All right. So for the introduction, in this micro course, we're going to learn all about Pandas, the most popular Python library for data analysis. Along the way, we'll complete several hands-on exercises with real-world data. They recommend that we work on the exercise while reading the corresponding tutorials. And that's what we're going to do. In this tutorial, we will learn how to create our own data along with how to work with data that already exists. Okay? So for getting started, we're going to use Panda. We typically start from the following line of code. So we would have import pandas as PD. So if we were doing this on VS Code, we would have this something like this. We would just say file, new text file, select language, Python, boom, and then we would import the pandas library and we would call all of our functions on PD, all right? So let's go back over here and see what they're talking about. So creating data. So there are two core objects in Panda, the data frame and the series, all right? So here's about the data frame. So a data frame is a table. It contains an array of individual entries, each of which has a certain value. Each entry corresponds to a row or record and a column. For example, consider the following simple data frame, right? So we've got pd.dataframe. So remember over here, we've got the pd right here. So pd.dataframe. And then inside of here, inside of the parentheses, we have this dictionary. And then we have the, what do we call them? Records, or do we call them? I don't remember what we call them. We have the properties right here. We've got yes right here with a 50 and a 21 inside of this list, and no with 31 and 2 inside of this list, right? So we've got the yes column and the no column. We've got the 0 row and the 1 row, and then we've got 50 under yes and 21 under yes in the 0 and the 1, and then we've got 31 and 2. Pardon me, 131 and 2 under the 0 and the 1 respectively. Under no, there we go. Anyway, so in this example, the 0 no entry has a value of 131. 0 no, okay? So first thing we got to notice is they're doing it row column instead of column row. Usually we would do like column row, but they're doing it row column. 0 no entry, all right? They'll get into that later. So that's got 131, and the 0 yes entry has a value of 50 and so on. And if you think about it, like if we're looking through records, the record is the most important part, okay? Not the columns. Every record has a column, but not every column. Anyway, scratch that. Let's keep going. So data frame entries are not limited to integers. For instance, here's a data frame whose values are strings, all right? So we've got pd.dataframe, and inside here that we have this, what do we call this thing? The dictionary, and instead of numbers, we've got Bob, and he liked it. Or no, I guess we had that before. But inside of the list, we've got I liked it here, and it was awful. And then in Sue, we've got pretty good and bland, right? So 0 Bob is I liked it. 1 Bob is it was awful. 0 Sue, pretty good. 1 Sue, bland, all right? Pardon me. So we're using the pd.dataframe constructor to generate these data frame objects. So yeah, this whole thing is the pd.dataframe constructor, all right? How about that? All right. The syntax for declaring a new one is a dictionary whose keys are the column names, Bob and Sue in this example, and whose values are are a list of entries. This is the standard way of constructing a new data frame, and the one we are most likely to encounter. True. Well, true as far as I've seen so far. Anyway, the dictionary list constructor assigns values to the column labels, but just uses an ascending count from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 for row labels. So just like a 0 index, right? 0 base index. So sometimes this is okay, but oftentimes we will want to assign these labels ourselves. the list of row labels used in a data frame is known as an index, right? Of course. We can assign values to it by using an index parameter in our constructor, all right? So we've got the PD data frame, we've got the Bob and Sue with the words, and then after that dictionary, we've got a comma, and then we've got this index equals, and this list right here with product A and product B. And so we, instead of 0, 1, we've got product A and we got product B, because product A is in the 0 place, product B is in the 1. All right, there we go. So a series by contrast is a sequence of data values. If a data frame is a table, a series is a list. And in fact, we can create one with nothing more than a list. True. All right, so we've got the PD.series, and we've got this list right here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So index 0 is 1, index 1 is 2, and we've seen this plenty before. And we've also got the data type is going to be a 64-bit integer, right? So a series, in essence, is, in essence, a single column of a data frame. So we can assign row labels to the series the same way as before, using an index parameter. However, a series does not have a column name. It only has one overall name, okay? So we've got PD series, we've got this list right here. Index, we've got 2015 through 2017 sales. We also have comma name equals product A, all right? So this series would be named product A, and then we have the indexes here with the names and the values right here, right? And then we also have integer 64 as the data type, all right? So the series and the data frame are intimately related. It's helpful to think of a data frame as actually being a bunch of series glued together. We'll see more of this in the next section of the tutorial, all right? So reading data files. Being able to create a data frame or series by hand is handy, but most of the time, we won't actually be creating our own data by hand. Instead, we'll be working with data that already exists. So data can be stored in any number. Data can be stored in any of a number of different forms and formats. By far, the most basic of these is the humble CSV file. When we open a CSV file, we get something that looks like this. So just a bunch of comma-separated values. We've seen this plenty. So a CSV file is a table of values separated by commas. Hence the name comma-separated values, or CSV. True. All right. So I guess it knows that the line breaks are for like table names and stuff. Whatever. We'll see more of this later. Pardon me. So let's now set aside our toy data sets, these playtime data sets, and see what a real data set looks like when we read it into a data frame. We'll use the pd.readCSV function to read the data into a data frame. And it goes thusly, right? So we've got wine reviews equals pd.readCSV, and inside of the parentheses, we've got the location of the comma separated values, right? The file. So we can use the shape attribute to check how large the resulting data frame is, right? So if we do wine reviews, so this thing dot shape, we can see we've got 129,974 records and 14 columns, all right? So our new data frame has 130,000 records split across 14 different columns. That's almost 2 million entries. True. So we can examine the contents of the resultant data frame using the head command, which grabs the first 5 rows, right? So we're going to be using this a lot too. So wine reviews, so this thing right here, we read .head, and it's going to give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so the first 5 things. Pardon me. The pd.readCSV function is well endowed with over 30 optional parameters we can specify. For example, we can see in this data set that the CSV file has a built-in index, which Pandas did not pick up on automatically. Yes, we did. Unnamed right here. All right. Let's see. to make pandas use that column for the index, instead of creating a new one from scratch, we can specify an index call, all right? So wine reviews equals pd.read.csv, and we've got this wine reviews CSV right here. And then we've also got comma index call equals 0. So this little property inside of the PD thing right here, we can change it to 0 like that to make it to where it takes whatever is in column 0 and makes that the index, right? And I wonder if it was named with strings, if that would work too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see at some point. Not today though. So yeah, there's that. So as we can see here, it took those zeros in that unnamed column and just, I guess, threw it away. But I don't think it threw it away. I think it threw away what was here before, and now this is what that was. I think that's what's going on here. So now it's our turn. If we haven't started the exercise, we can get started here. We will right now. So now we're on to exercise creating, reading, and writing. And we'll see you next time.